A few notable successes in space exploration this year included the installation of China's Tiangong space station, the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, and the conclusion of NASA's Artemis 1 mission. 2023 is anticipated to be an extremely busy year. That's why, in this video, we highlight the top 5 space missions to watch out for. Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, or JUICE. The European Space Agency, or ESA, will launch Jupiter Ice Moons Explorer, or JUICE, Europe's first specifically designed robotic mission to Jupiter, in April. In July 2031, JUICE will touch down on the planet after an amazing journey through the solar system. When the mission enters orbit around Jupiter, it will extensively fly by its 3 enormous ice moons, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. After 4 years of moon flybys, JUICE will finally enter orbit around Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, becoming the first spacecraft to accomplish so. Jupiter's icy missions are fascinating because it is believed that each one of them has oceans of liquid water underneath its frozen surface. One of the solar system's most likely destinations for the existence of extraterrestrial life is regarded to be Europa in particular. JUICE will be equipped with 10 scientific equipment, including an ice-penetrating radar to investigate the internal waters. A practical first step toward more complex future missions utilizing submersible vehicles, some of which have already been proposed, is the radar scanning of the deep oceans. The launch window is from April 5th until April 25th. SpaceX Starship. Although SpaceX has not yet offered a particular date as of the time of making this video, it is anticipated that the extremely popular Starship spacecraft will conduct its first orbital test flight in early 2023. Starship is the name of the largest spacecraft that can carry passengers from Earth to distant planets. The International Space Station is larger, but it was assembled in space. It will be the most powerful launch vehicle ever created, capable of putting 100 tons of payload into low Earth orbit. The 2-part Starship system is composed of the crew and cargo-carrying Starship spaceship and the Super Heavy rocket. The rocket component will lift the Starship to an altitude of roughly 65 kilometers before it separates and returns to Earth in a controlled manner. The upper Starship component will then use its own engines to launch itself the rest of the way into orbit. There have been a few quick test flights of the system's Starship component with varying degrees of success, but the upcoming trip will mark the first time the whole system will be used to go into space together. This first orbital flight was originally scheduled to launch in September 2022, but it has already been delayed numerous times. Dear Moon. In 2023, as planned, the Dear Moon project, which will take passengers on a 6-day trip around the moon and back, will make its official Starship premiere. Although a specific date has been scheduled since 2018, it will be contingent on the outcome of the Starship test. It will be the inaugural launch for legitimate deep space travel. 8 members of the general public, plus an unspecified number of crew, were chosen through a competition to accompany business magnate Yusaku Maezawa on his journey. Maezawa covered the full cost of the journey. The visitors may be well-known or up-and-coming performers, even if the winners and selection procedures have not been made public. This voyage will mark a huge shift in how we view space, as only humans chosen under very tight criteria have historically been able to travel into deep space. Extended travel involves extreme engineering and safety issues. Depending on the outcome of the Dear Moon mission, deep space tourism may either become the next big thing or be relegated to the realm of science fiction. Asteroid Explorer returns to Earth. The NASA mission to the near-Earth asteroid Bennu, called OSIRIS-REx, is called the Origins Spectral Interpretation Regolith Explorer. One of the main goals of this robotic voyage was the gathering of Bennu samples and their return to Earth for analysis. OSIRIS-REx is now making its way back to Earth fast, with up to 1 kilogram of precious asteroid samples aboard. If all goes as planned, the capsule will detach from the spacecraft on September 24. enter the atmosphere, and parachute to a soft landing in the Utah desert. A sample from an asteroid has only ever been successfully retrieved by one prior mission, the Japanese Space Agency's Hayabusa 2 mission in 2020. Bennu is a small, approximately diamond-shaped planet with a diameter of barely half a kilometer, but it has several fascinating characteristics. It is likely to have broken off from a much larger asteroid within the first 10 million years of the solar system. Its water-altered materials suggest that the parent body of Bennu may have once held liquid water. Furthermore, it is abundant in priceless metals like gold and platinum. There is a very small probability that Bennu will collide with Earth in the next century, according to classification as a potentially hazardous object. India's private space launch. Although SpaceX is the most well-known commercial space launch company, several other companies are developing their own line of launchers all over the world. Skyroot Aerospace, the first private Indian company, will soon launch its first satellite after successfully launching its Vikram S rocket in November 2022. To launch a constellation of satellites into orbit, the rocket's own altitude of 90 kilometers had to be raised. Skyroot aims to launch its first satellite in 2023 and compete on price with existing commercial space launch businesses. The business can create 3D printed rockets in a few days. If it succeeds, it will possibly pave the way for less expensive research mission launches, allowing for a quicker pace of study. It is clear that there is still a strong interest in the space business. With multiple risk-taking developments and missions planned for 2023, we are about to enter a new phase comparable to the golden era of space launches in the 1960s and 1970s. What do you think? Which space mission are you most hyped for next year? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't miss out on our latest uploads. If you wish to stay up to date with the latest space updates and discoveries, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and turn on all notifications to see more of our latest videos in the future.